Amir, it's great to see you as always. Wanted to, obviously take a chance, talk a little bit about kind of situation that we're in, what we're seeing in tech. And before, I guess, turning it over to you, I figured I could give people a little bit of an idea. We've partnered and, we've loved the service that your company provides with, connecting and creating kind of these mock interviews that students can take afterwards and interviewing with engineers that have, experience at places like Uber and Netflix and Spotify. Has been super beneficial. Actually, I have a quote right here from one of our students, Julie, who said, it's benefit for a lot of people who have had any kind of general anxiety or nervousness about interviewing because it gets you comfortable with the same process and feeling without being too real or having too much on the line. And so that's one of those things that I'm super passionate about when it comes to interviewing. But I'll turn it over. Is there anything I missed about, what you guys are doing at Skilled and kind of the value you bring?
Yeah, well, TJ, thank you so much for having us. Our relationship with LearningFuze has been amazing. And of course, being able for you to be able to be the person that's handling us or a direct partner in that relationship. I've really enjoyed working with you and all of your students. And thanks for having me. In terms of us here at Skilled, you did a great job of explaining, a little bit about our core service. The only thing I would add would be, especially now situationally as the world has changed and COVID-19 has impacted so many job seekers and so many of our EDU partners, we have added a lot of services to our product. And now when you look at Skilled as a whole, it's much easier to kind of understand that we are a career center. And as a career center, we provide all different types of services with the mock interviews and one-on-one coaching, resume review being some of our most popular options among our partners.
Nice. So what are you hearing? Because, we're here in Orange County and, we're kind of, heads down sometimes. And, we've got our little LearningFuze community and everything like that. You're, up in the LA area. But I think more importantly is you have this kind of view from the top as to what's happening across both the boot camp and the tech industry. What are you seeing from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it has been a very interesting 30, 60 days, if you will. I think there's still a lot of questions that all of us just as normal citizens have about where the world is going. What does a post-COVID world look like? Is everything going to go back to normal or are things going to drastically?
Normal, yeah.
Quote unquote normal. So with that said, I think there's still a lot up in the air, but what I have seen overarching across the industry as a whole is there are a lot of companies being more conservative about their hiring. There are a lot of companies in tech freezing hiring for the moment or letting people go in order to conserve their cash because they ultimately don't necessarily know what's going to happen. That being said, there are a ton of companies in this economy right now that we're living in that are booming, right? And so if you think of any delivery-based company, whether it's Amazon or whether it's a food business that's bringing food to you, or whether it's a logistics company that's ultimately helping with all your packages getting to where they are, or even Netflix, right? All of these different organizations are scaling very quickly, and they're the new, type of company that can survive, and not only survive, but really thrive in a post-COVID world. And on top of that, of course, there are other organizations that have defensible business models that are still doing pretty well and from a day-to-day perspective that are still hiring. So what I would say overall is that if you are not in tech right now, you're probably a lot more nervous than if you are in tech, because although not everyone is hiring the way they were 60, 90 days ago, there is still hiring being done. There are still employers looking to bring on great people, and breaking into this industry now is probably a much smarter move than if you were trying to do it if you were trying to go through a camp or go through a 3-month or 6-month intensive program during the COVID epidemic.
Gotcha. And so what it sounds like is probably one of the best approaches for, let's say post boot camp students, but also just people in general during this job search is get a little bit more focused. So instead of kind of going onto these job sites and, shotgunning your resume out to everything that's available, maybe target some of these industries that you're talking about. I know another company that has a lot going on, and I think their stock price just got a little bit of a bump with Snapchat, and,
right.
They've been hiring like crazy for a while. And I think they were actually listed as one of the 50 most innovative companies recently. So is that something that, you guys have seen? And is that something that your platform also kind of helps is during this career search, hey, be focused, be targeted, and kind of, be a little bit more, kind of intentional about what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing that's really important for us here at Skilled, and one thing that we've always kind of in our own way, try to make it core to the experience was this capacity and the ability for you to connect with someone, right? You had mentioned these mock interviews, and you have a job seeker connecting with this individual who works at wherever, Uber, Netflix, Facebook, and an hour-long interview is conducted, right? Our expectation is, in so many words, we forced a relationship to occur, right? We put two people to know each other into an environment. We gave them mutual access to each other's personal information, LinkedIn profiles, resumes. Both parties have that. So in our perfect world, we don't force it, but in our perfect world, the way we envision it is that after you as a job seeker do an interview with your interviewer, you go at them on LinkedIn, you send them an email saying, hey, thank you for taking the time to interview with me. And of course, you follow up and keep in touch with them. I bring that up because I think now more so than ever, your network is very, very important. And what I mean by that, it's not about the old adage, oh, it's all about who you know. It's about who you are willing to go out and get to know, right? Adding folks on LinkedIn, trying to connect with individuals within your community, within businesses or companies that you want to work with from a social perspective is very important. And asking, even though you might not have been formally introduced or you may not have ever met in person, I think post-COVID, we're a little bit more amendable to not meeting people in person anymore. But even asking those individuals for introductions to other hiring teams that are looking for talent, or even to their own team that's looking for talent, that is something that you should be taking advantage of. So being much more explicit in what you are trying to accomplish and much more strategic in terms of looking through your LinkedIn, looking through the people that you're connected with, trying to get introductions to companies that you think are awesome, cold emailing CEOs, CTOs, VPs of engineering, whatever it may be, just being much more formulaic about it is going to be important to finding your next role in this ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the networking component. We actually had a student who got an offer today, and it was through his networking and actually going on to Meetup, finding groups that even though they weren't meeting in person, he was able to connect with some of the organizers and people at those groups. And he's another one who came through, took the skilled interview about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I have to imagine the feedback that he got from that translated pretty well to his interviews and likely led to an offer for him. So
I hope so. That'd be awesome. I hope we're part of that. But of course, of course, all of the credence goes to you at LearningFuze, and of course the student who put in the time, energy, effort, and grit to get through it.
Yeah, James is definitely a hard worker. Final question for you: when everything wraps up and we're kind of back to this new normal, what are you most looking forward to?
You mean from like a personal perspective?
Personal perspective, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to being around other people in the group settings, whether it's a restaurant or a sporting event. Those are going to be the two things that I am most excited about, assuming everything goes back to normal.
Yeah, well, definitely, I'm excited about sports as well. Can't wait for the NBA to come back and hopefully grab a beer with you and chat and watch a little bit of basketball.
And we have to do like a LearningFuze /skilled event where it's just you and I at an NBA game, of course. So.
That sounds perfect. I'm gonna add it to the budget now.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool, man. Well, Amir, thanks again, for taking the time to chat and obviously building a platform that we value and our students value so much, and definitely excited to see what you guys continue to add, because I know there's so many aspects of the job search and career services that can sometimes fall through the cracks. And it sounds like you guys are really positioning yourself to be that partner for when students do finish a boot camp and can use that little bit of help.
I really appreciate your partnership, TJ. Thank you so much for having me on today. As always, please let me know if you have any feedback for us. We're always looking to grow, and you as one of our partners, you sit at the intersection of where a job seeker comes in and what they need to learn and how they need to get prepared in order to really break in. So again, so much credence thrown to you and the team. I appreciate you having me, and I'll chat with you soon.
Sounds good, man.